Boo, someone's eating a dilly bar.
Hi, Brian. Happy Mother's Day.
Why are you putting it up so high?
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, whoa. From the top, it does not pick up? Wait a minute. This whole time, I've been doing this. Well, if it's up here, then, I mean, I guess she doesn't need to see my face, but
I know, I like seeing your face.
she likes seeing my face. But if I bring it down like this, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Need a Dilly Bar microphone?
I would love a Dilly Bar microphone.
Come on over. We got 2 boxes.
She's got two boxes of Dilly Bars. I love Dilly Bars.
All dilly, no dairy. That's what the box says. These are the
Oh, that's the
dairy-free.
box.
Mhm.
Okay. They're dairy-free dillies. So then what is it? What's it made out of?
It's a coconut cream ice cream,
Oh,
and it's
coconut
phenomenal.
cream.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too.
Helen says love you.
I do love Brian. What a great guy.
Who doesn't
I
love
know.
Brian?
That's so true.
I don't want to meet a person that doesn't love Brian. You know, if you don't love Brian, I don't want to be
Yeah.
around you.
Continue talking about Brian for a bit so I can continue eating my dilly bar. I was gonna wait, but then I was like, oh no, it's quarter after. I gotta come up, but also
Yeah.
I really want this dilly bar.
Some may say
talk.
a podcast is the worst time to have a Dilly Bar.
But some say it brings you joy. And so you
Exactly.
enter this fabulous Mother's Day. Well, recording on Mother's Day. Obviously, by the time this comes out, people will be like, moms,
Yeah.
who even cares about them? However,
Well, I don't want to know those people.
I bet they don't even like Brian.
Oh man. Yeah. There's one of the Venn diagram of yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Mhm.
cool that it's Mother's Day. I figured we'd talk a bit about Mother's Day and being moms, seeing as how the title of said podcast is Millennial Moms.
And what
Thoughts.
episode is it?
41. Oh, so you know what? Probably should I'll just jump in. I'll just welcome. You know what? Welcome everyone to the podcast where Ellen I was gonna say Helen eats, and then I heard eats first and I said Ellen eats.
Ellen Heats.
Ellen Heats.
What does she eat?
The
Not a dilly
podcast
bar.
where Ellen Heats. No, the podcast where Helen eats dilly bars, also known as Millennial Mom Thoughts. So welcome to episode 41 of Millennial Mom Thoughts.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm coming at
Nice.
you fresh off of a non-dairy dilly bar and a delightful sip of water. So I am ready
You're ready to go.
Happy to be here. Happy
yeah.
Mother's Day.
Happy
You,
Mother's
Jordan.
Day. Oh my
Goodness, thank you.
goodness. Wild. Wild. Yeah. What did you do today?
What did I do today? I got to sleep in till
Lovely.
6:45, which was
Lovely.
Violet sleeping until 6:45. She used to sleep until 7, which was amazing. But over the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, she's definitely been much closer to the
The
6
sun's
o'clock
out earlier.
end of things. It is for sure. But this morning, of course, the morning where Mitch was going to like handle getting her up in the morning before going, so that I could sleep. And of course, this is the morning where she actually like slept until the time that I was up and ready to get up anyway. But I will say, before I get to the fabulous pancakes and everything I had, when I did wake up and was able to just kind of like lay in my bed for a minute, pick up my phone, look, oh yeah, I've got some texts, got a couple emails, including the email letting me know that the article I had written for Mother's Day magazine had gone live last night and was published today. So that was a very cool way.
Link
to
that in the
start
notes.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's a freelance piece that I had written about becoming a mother runner is the title of it.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I
Helen.
will definitely
Why did
link
you not
that.
send that to me?
I put it on Facebook, so I thought you would see it.
I did not see it.
I was like, I don't put things on Facebook, but
To be fair, I was not active on the socials today because we were out and about.
Good. That's
But just
amazing.
in general,
I'm
like
now.
send me
Yeah.
stuff. I send you stuff all the time.
Like, maybe I didn't want to bother you as you were out and about.
It's no
today.
bother.
Okay.
A text from Helen is no bother.
tell that to
I
everyone else.
I was tempted to like look it up right now and start reading it, but then I would be distracted and not paying attention.
Well,
But I'm gonna go read it after this.
that's I thank you.
So
I'm very, yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. No,
That's
very
exciting.
proud, happy for it to be out in the world, and that was a cool way to start my day because it's
Yeah.
Mother's Day Magazine is the title of this publication. And she
Oh,
had told me it would go like be published in this week or next. She had said earlier this previous week, so I was kind of like, oh, I
okay.
guess it won't be out in time for Mother's Day. That's okay, but I
That's perfect
guess
that it was.
yeah, Sunday morning there it was. So that was cool. Then got to play with my sweet little bean for a while dad made pancakes. So,
Lovely.
yeah, had pancakes for breakfast. Other than that, I got to go on a little run as I do.
Beautiful
Um,
day. Holy cow.
Gorgeous day. Yeah, yeah. Very, very nice. So then
Yeah.
during afternoon nap, I got to finish a book out in the hammock. So I just got to enjoy the beautiful outside. So that ruled. Then I got to go grocery shopping and make dinner.
Fun.
So,
Yeah.
you know, the which honestly I
Standard.
made one of my favorite meals. So it was fun. Oh, and art. I did an art. Well,
Oh,
Violet did the art project. I was going to like simultaneously do some painting and then was quickly like, oh,
yes.
that's not yet happening.
We can't co-art.
But we had done that last year on Mother's Day, just on like a little canvas. Last year I did a like put the paint
Oh,
in the baggie, have the baby squish it
oh,
around type thing.
yes.
And then I decided, you know what? I would love for this to be our Mother's Day tradition is to do
Did you
just
paint
like a
together
little
or
canvas
craft?
painting every year, and then I can see all these paintings
That's a
through the
good idea.
years. So I put down some tape on the canvas to spell mom or wow if you know I want to
Right.
flip it upside
Depending
down.
on your mood.
And she used the paint sticks, which wasn't I telling you about the paint
Yes,
sticks?
you
It's like a
were.
glue
You were
stick, but
telling
it's
me about
paint, and
that.
they are amazing,
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
gonna have to do
So
that. I am not as good with craft stuff with Lily as I was with Camden because Camden got the paint bag, the
mhm,
paint in the Ziploc with the
mhm.
pushing and the squishing. Lily did not.
A lot of
Lily
effort.
did not. Poor
Oh.
Lily. Second child.
Hey,
Oh
you're
well,
talking to a
she's
third child over here.
well, yeah.
I get it.
You're like, I never even
I got
saw paint until I was
what is
9.
yeah. I didn't have an avocado till I was 22, and now this kid's eating avocados all the
No
time.
way.
Yeah, we definitely didn't know what avocados were in our house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But not like guacamole?
No, yeah, definitely not.
What's happening?
Yeah,
I
I
don't know how to I
like.
don't
I
know how to
think I
feel
knew
about that.
guacamole existed, but not until
Yeah.
college did I have
Oh.
a. So maybe a little younger than 22. That may have been an exaggeration,
You
but
were a real rebel in college.
I ate
Avocados,
avocados, got into
guacamole.
running. That's one of my
Whoa.
favorite lines in this article, but
Talk about
I'll just leave that for
rebellion.
you. I know. But here I am. I've
Here
made
you
it through to
are.
the other side as the
And now you're a
millennial
mom.
mom that I am, and I'm giving this kid everything. Eat those avocados.
Play with your paints.
Play
Go
with your
crazy.
paints, but don't eat my dilly bar, kid.
Don't even think about it. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So, a
fun.
delightful day was had by all. What about you?
Also a delightful day.
Yay.
We started the morning. I got cards, handmade cards from
Ooh.
Camden and Lily, of course, which were very sweet. And then I got to open the card that Camden made in
Oh.
kindergarten in his class. And I sent to his teacher. I was like, currently sobbing because of your kindergarten craft. They did shrinky dink keychains of his handprint and then the
Aw.
tagline, which I couldn't even read without crying. I couldn't say it aloud. Um, I can't remember it exactly now, but basically, this is the hand that you held when I was 6 years old. I was like, oh, okay, puddle. Thank you. Thank you for that. And he was so excited and proud to give it to me.
Yeah.
So,
Aw.
and then I made breakfast while
Nice.
Brian was out mowing the
Yep.
backyard, which was fine.
Yep. Mowing
And
needs to be mowed.
so much mowing. We have a battery operated
Oh,
mower and we have multiple batteries and we
yeah.
all the batteries were dead and the
Oh no.
backyard is still not all the way
Oh
mowed. So I'm like,
no. That
It's
always
fine.
happens to me in the
Sometimes it
front
takes a couple
yard. It's like
days.
I don't care if it's the backyard, whatever, but it's
Yeah.
very embarrassing when half of your
The
front
front
yard
yard is,
is just got a mohawk right down the middle, and you're like, well,
yeah, people see it. People
uh-huh.
see it. So did that and then got cleaned up. And then we went to the Peoria Riverfront Museum.
Ooh.
They have that
Oh,
cool,
that's going on
highly
right now, isn't
recommend
it?
the
Okay.
toy
Yep.
exhibit.
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
was awesome.
Okay. Tell me
So cool,
everything.
super interactive. So informational and interactive,
Hmm.
history of different toys. And they had a whole section of like arcade games, like you could play
I
arcade
know.
games.
I
They
want to go
had
so
a
bad.
giant battleship, like more than just life size, like, this huge, huge battleship game.
Cool.
Um, what else did they have? They had a bunch of different Lego stations. They had Mr. Potato Head, um, a bunch of accessories for Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head. And yeah, some uh big etch a sketch. I'm just trying to go
Hmm.
through the thing in my mind, but lots of fun places to take, cute pictures, of course. They had a
Hmm.
big Monopoly thing. It was awesome.
Oh,
Really, really well
fantastic.
done.
Okay,
So,
so here's my question because I tried to take each of my nieces and nephew out for an adventure date, is what I
oh, this
call
would
them,
be a good
around their
one.
birthdays. And
Multi-age.
so I want to take my nephew, like we already said, like this would be perfect. He's right at that age. He's gonna love
Yes.
it. Both Mitch and I want to go because, like, we've
Oh,
heard about this
yes.
arcade. Will we be okay also taking Violet along, or should we find someone to watch baby?
Yeah, so there's some
Like, will we
stuff.
have too much fun?
Well, yeah,
That
I guess it depends on how interactive you want to get with
That's what
the
I'm saying.
the exhibit. Um, there's a little section that has a play kitchen and doll houses,
Okay.
and then these giant like big Legos
Nice.
that you can build with that were for kids.
Okay. So there
Um,
there are things that a
yeah,
toddler could
there are
do.
toddler
Okay.
approved things.
Fantastic.
And as- depending on when you go, I can't remember when it's over, but there's this really cool exhibit that's still there. We saw it the last time we went. This artist that it's not just bugs, it's like creatures. And they're all these different colors. And it's like they're in, these black and white framed boxes. And
Mm,
it's obviously they're dead. Lizards and butterflies
cool.
and birds with their feathers like split.
Wow.
It is so
Yeah.
it's just really cool. But
Mm,
he does this one with all these like different beetles that are just multiple. You know how beetles are just all these
yeah.
different colors.
Okay, that's really
So
neat.
cool. Camden's really into it. We went back
Okay.
and he's like, "Can I leave the toys so I can go look at the bugs?"
Oh.
Like, okay, that's fine. And the snakes
Oh
and
my
lizards and
gosh.
bugs, and
Cool.
it's really, really neat.
Creatures.
So highly recommend. I don't know when that
Nice.
one's leaving, but it's been there for a little
Yeah.
while.
Okay.
Yeah, toys open. Well, I thought today, because the second Sunday of the month
Mm.
is the access for all day where you can
Mm-hmm.
go for free. But I guess because the toy exhibit opened
Mm.
yesterday and they don't typically do those access for all days on a brand new exhibit weekend,
Oh.
they said it was actually last weekend, the access for all weekend, which didn't make sense. And I was like, oh, well, because it is kind of
Yeah, it's
it's
pricey.
kind of pricey.
Yeah.
And if I knew that, I would have done our library card
Mm.
because you can do the exchange, or you can get
Mm-hmm.
a pass for your library card.
Yeah, I need to figure that thing out.
It's
I know
it's
that
fun.
exists. Yeah.
It's fun that exists, and it's really helpful. Um, but so the lady saw my face. She goes, "Well, it's Mother's Day," and so she let us go in. It's like,
Aww.
okay, redeemed. Because I was like, oh man, we drove all the way here. We're gonna have to leave because that just wasn't something we were
Yeah.
factoring into
Uh-huh.
the day, was the cost of two adults and two children
Yeah.
getting tickets. So
Oh, that's
she,
very sweet.
she let us
Hmm.
in. I was like, that's awesome.
That's really, really awesome.
So
Well,
shout out to the
shout out
Peoria
Peoria.
Riverfront
Yes.
Museum. Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing us to have a wonderful Mother's Day afternoon. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, came back. Brian had lessons. I had one student that I tutored, and came back and played outside. And do you ever have those moments where you're like watching? It's almost like you're watching your life as a movie. Like there was, I don't know, we were
Mm-hmm.
outside, the sun is setting. I'm like, this is a movie. It's like so
Mm-hmm.
idyllic. And I'm like
Mm-hmm.
almost there's like a soundtrack in,
Mm-hmm.
playing of like, look at my two sweet children running in the backyard. Let
Yes.
me set the scene. We do this hula hoop game where I chase them and like trap them with a hula hoop. Like I,
Mm-hmm.
lower it
Mm-hmm.
down over them. Lily screams her little head off. It's hilarious. She goes, don't get me, don't get me. She is running in a t-shirt, a diaper, and a winter hat and socks and just running through the yard crazy and having the time of her life. And it's almost like it went slow motion for a moment
Mm.
of like, look at how just sweet and perfect this little moment is. So, yeah,
Oh,
that's
oh,
what I
look out,
was
Jordan. That's
just
beautiful.
doing right before I came and sat down.
Mm. And here I
Yeah.
was eating a dilly bar.
And you were in the Dilly Bar.
And now that's a movie. No, I know
That's a
exactly what
movie.
you mean, though. I
Yeah.
feel like I've had those moments lately too, where it's just like, this is a beautiful little life. Like
Yes,
it's so hard and it's so
it
complicated
is.
and
It
so
is.
many things that aren't perfect, but you have
Yeah.
those moments where it's like,
Oh man, look
this is
how beautiful
awesome.
this is. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Ugh.
You know what else was beautiful?
That was beautiful.
Yesterday was a beautiful
Yes.
day.
Tell me all about it.
You know, I say it was an event, but it wasn't like, hey, all these, people are going to show up all at once. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea, kind of what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And an avenue, I won't be specific, but an avenue that I was hoping and signed up to use as a way to advertise did not end up
Mm.
um, going through. So less people perhaps were notified
Mm.
about it than maybe anyways that would have
Mm-hmm.
come. But there were a couple like big, I think they were both birthday parties, I'm not sure, but
Mm-hmm.
you can just go to the the pavilion area, the
Mm-hmm.
picnic covered picnic tables and first come first serve. And so there was one that was like a really big group of people that were celebrating a birthday. And so my co-host
Mm-hmm.
Brittany of Tiny Heart Stories, she and I got there like at 9, and then a classmate of theirs, all he and his mom came too. And so there were some families that were there just kind of wandering around and playing. And so we would go up to them and say, all those books over there, like if there's a book that you would like they're free. You can take a book home with your books. And so whenever we would tell people that, like, oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. And, thank you. What is this for? And so we got to kind of talk about what it was for. And the day before I thought I better put something in each book that says like
Mm.
what this is, what this is
Yeah.
from.
What a good
Because you would
idea.
take a book and have no idea.
Yeah.
And maybe they won't even look at it, but still it's just
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to kind of share it. So I made a makeshift bookmark that had the name, the mission, and a QR code to join the group on Four
Cool.
Norms. So um
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
there were several. There was a girl that was like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these books." She was probably like 12.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I love books." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is that one, that series I wanted to read or whatever." And
Oh.
so she was getting all excited about it, and she's like, "Are you sure I can?" And I was like, "Yes, you can take books. Like they're free. You can take them. They were donated."
Mm.
Um, I still have a ton of books left
I'm
over.
sure. Yeah.
So gonna have to figure out another opportunity to do
Yeah.
that again. But
Mm-hmm.
it was fun. It was really sweet to see
That's so
people kind of
cool.
searching through them. And then one of the people that donated books, her name's Gail. She runs a preschool here in town.
Mm.
It's like reading, romping, and something. Oh, I'll
Hmm.
have to go. I forget. It's Miss Gail's preschool. I'm sure anybody that would know Miss Gail Zeller, that's who it is, Gail Zeller.
Gotcha.
Um, she had donated some books and has messaged me and been super supportive and been like, I love what you're
Oh.
doing. It's so needed. And so she came out and
Oh.
stopped by and saw that I was there. And, we met in person because we just
Cool.
messaged.
Yeah.
She's like, this is great. And she made some bookmarks of her own to put in the books that she donated. So like,
Nice.
yeah, put where they came
Absolutely.
from. That's great.
Yes.
So just loves the whole mission
Oh,
and
yeah.
supporting, play-based childhoods and
Mm-hmm.
reducing that screen dependence. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all
Ah,
in all, a wonderful day. Went back later that evening and
okay.
loaded up the books and they're still in Brian's trunk, so I'm gonna have to take those out
Nice.
before tomorrow morning.
You can just take
But
him out when he's doing his rounds. Be like,
yeah,
hey, you guys want some books? You
got
need
some
some
books.
reads? You need some books? No,
Yeah,
that's so cool. Congratulations on a
yeah.
successful event. And
Thank you.
it's
I didn't know
also,
what,
yeah.
to expect, and again, not like I thought there would be like lines and lines of
Hmm.
people, and
But
it's a
I like that's so smart that like let's go to a place where there already are going to be people,
yeah,
right? Bringing their
yeah,
kids out, having some family time, and then taking that opportunity to meet and make real connections. I just think
yeah.
that's so smart. I regret that I was not able to go. We had a busy
It was a
morning and then a
busy
birthday party
Saturday.
afternoon that then turned into not taking it. You know how all the things go
Yeah,
with
yeah,
naps and then that's your day. But yeah,
yeah.
I hope that you do it again.
I
And
definitely will.
I just think, yeah, that's so cool.
So that
Congratulations
was,
and good job.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and Brian very sweetly, multiple times throughout the day, was like, "I'm so proud of you."
I
Like,
am too.
thank you.
Gosh.
I just there are moments where I'm like, am I doing anything?
Hmm.
And then I mean, I can very briefly touch on this. I'm currently working on my third uh edition of the Reconnect Morton newsletter.
Mm.
I thought I'd be able to get it out tonight, but there's too much. There's too much to put in there, and so it won't
Yeah.
happen tonight. But I've got a good chunk done. Um, but I don't know that you would have watched the school board meeting this week that
I
was on
watched
Tuesday.
I
Oh, did
watched
you
the
watch some of it?
opening, the public comments, including yours, of course, but also the other ones that were there,
Yes,
which was cool to hear other people.
in support.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and but I did not hear the rest of the meeting, so I have no
yes.
context on
Well, it
like
was
the
very
conversation that
long.
followed and
It took
if
a
any.
recess.
Okay,
It required them taking a break after 2.5 hours. So,
wow. Okay,
at which point I left because then it was after
yeah,
bedtime. So it was
yeah.
like I missed bedtime. But yeah, one of the discussion items was, and just in quotes, cell phones and technology,
Hmm.
which is like a huge
Everything,
that
yeah,
that covers like a lot of things.
everything and anything.
Um, but and it obviously has not been, since it was just a discussion item, not been voted on
Hmm.
yet. But it is, the proposal for next year is bell to bell.
Hmm.
And like you saw in the public comment portion, which I didn't know if anybody else would be coming and speaking in favor
Hmm.
of it or speaking at all. But I was so glad that everyone who spoke was there to say, I'm in favor of this.
Hmm.
Um, and then I had kind of put out a message saying, if this is something, if you can't come in person,
Hmm.
then like send an email.
And you
Um,
sent a really nice template to be able to just
thank you.
copy, paste, insert, use. Yeah.
Yeah. And so people did. They referenced it in the meeting. Like we got many emails. So I was glad to see that. Again, it's just I know I'm not the only one
Hmm.
that cares about this or is concerned about this or wants to change this. It I recognize it's hard to speak up, or it's hard to feel like, does this matter? Like, you can control what's in your own home, but this is my first experience with like publicly
Hmm.
advocating for things, and speaking at school board meetings. Like, that's not something I'd ever done before.
Hmm.
And I recognize how intimidating it is. But, sending an email and just sharing your concerns in a
Hmm.
polite, hopefully politely and respectfully, and not like yelling,
Uh-huh.
which I don't imagine anyone did, but is helpful to just say like, hey, people, this is something the
Hmm.
community wants, and how can we take steps towards doing that? So
Hmm.
that was great. And then the other one was removing students' direct access to YouTube. So
Okay.
taking it off devices.
Okay.
So teachers can still utilize any videos that they want to share, either in the classroom or embed it in
Okay.
Schoology. So like if
Yeah.
you missed a
Yeah.
lesson or whatever, but then you don't have that. I clicked on one video and it led to 3 hours later, I'm still watching YouTube, and there
Hmm.
goes the opportunity for me to stay focused on schoolwork.
Hmm.
Um, I think it was just last week, which I sent in the document that was also referenced in the
Hmm.
school board meeting, that is now 8 pages long.
Yeah.
One of the board members said it's like 50 articles or links, and I'm like, it's more like 250, but it's fine. Um, it's clearly a lot.
Nice.
There was a Wall Street Journal article that came out, and a woman in Kansas that was featured in this, who actually ran for school board and then won. She discovered, because of all this, she discovered her son in a 3-month period at school watched over 13,000 YouTube videos. Three
Yikes.
months at school.
Yeah.
And so
Not
that's where
surprised, but also,
it's right. And
yeah.
it's again, I'm not blaming a teacher, I'm not blaming a parent, and I'm not blaming the kid. Like that's what it's designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And some kids are going to be more susceptible or vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
to being sucked in than others.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the ones that are, no kid should be able to watch 13,000 YouTube
Mm-hmm.
videos at school or at home. But at school, it's supposed to be used
Mm-hmm.
for educational purposes, and in that
Yeah.
case, obviously, it is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Wow. Yeah. And that's what, I don't blame parents. I don't blame teachers. I blame big
right.
tech and I
Yeah.
blame
Yeah.
administration when we see these problems and
Yeah.
aren't making changes,
Exactly.
aren't,
And
being retro.
YouTube is social media, and they were just, essentially found guilty in
Mm-hmm.
a court of law of
Mm-hmm.
harming someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that does start to get into kind of now a sticky spot of like, well, legally, they were just held responsible for a child's harm.
Mm-hmm.
How can we meaning all schools, put a product into the hands of children that was just found to be guilty of causing harm?
Mm-hmm.
I fully recognize there are absolutely educational videos on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and can be a resource that is used. Um, I made the note to say, I hope used ad free. I hope it's
Mm.
not we're watching an ad and then playing a video,
I know that's, yeah, which is,
because then that's, it's targeting advertisement during a school
mm-hmm.
day, and they're they're a captured audience. They don't have anywhere they
Mm-hmm.
can go.
And I've been in the situations where like you don't know what that ad's going to be when it comes up.
Exactly.
And I
Exactly.
remember when it was around election season, would get all these politician at like local politicians and stuff, and
Sure.
it's like I don't want to show this. I don't want this.
Right.
Like
Right.
yeah, like as a teacher, I'm uncomfortable. I can't. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
such an
who knows what
unknown.
kind of ad is
Yeah,
popping up.
yeah.
So hopefully ad free,
Yeah.
but I I I don't want a teacher's ability to show a
Hmm.
video that enhances their lesson or
Right.
goes along with their
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
not entirely removing YouTube from education. I hope it changes YouTube in general. Like I hope
Hmm.
it changes their business model and practice. I highly doubt it will.
Hmm.
But it shouldn't punish a teacher
Hmm.
for for and take away their ability to do something that they've been always doing,
Hmm.
and thoughtfully, and thinking critically about how am I using this.
Yeah.
A student doesn't need direct access on a device, especially, again, thinking of parents who don't allow their child to watch YouTube, and then they're given a device that has YouTube on it, and
Hmm.
so it goes against, their family choices. So again, it's not limiting curriculum,
Right.
it's limiting the access to
Hmm.
a harmful, potentially addictive or proven harmful and
Yeah.
addictive product. So,
And inherently by having that in place, like I imagine would bring up question, would have an educator asking like, well, is this a video? Is
sure.
this a lesson that I should, what am I trying to say? Like, is this video actually educationally valuable? And
Right.
again, in many cases, the answer is yes. Like, audio
Yeah,
visual media is
totally.
very powerful and effective and can show things that aren't in books and can,
Right.
all
Well, and
sorts of things. But also, I think we
we've used
often,
video
yeah,
and before YouTube was a thing.
yeah,
So it's not like
right,
video
right,
itself is
yes,
bad, like that's not the issue. It's
yeah,
it's students having that direct
mm-hmm.
access that
Mm-hmm.
don't have the ability, because it's hijacking their brain,
Mm-hmm.
to stop using it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm even
So,
thinking about when I, as an instructor, and fully guilty of like defaulting to, well, let's hear John Green's summary of Huckleberry Finn, which is a phenomenal video. I love his Huck Finn series. But like,
yeah.
let me share this 10-minute video analyzing the book because that's going to capture my kids' attention
Mm,
versus me spending 10 minutes
right.
talking through my
Right.
own analysis as well. And that's where that idea of expertise that I've been thinking a lot about lately of like, what's at stake with artificial intelligence, of course,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also other ways that educational technology is threatening teachers' sense of expertise. So I'm all
Yeah.
about like any little ways that we can remind educators like you are capable of teaching your students,
Totally.
and you
You
don't
don't need
you
YouTube.
don't
Like
need it. Right.
if YouTube
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
exist, like if you didn't, or sometimes I'd go so far as to say, if you didn't have the internet in your classroom, like what would your teaching, how would that be
Hmm.
different?
Yeah, everyone needs a Wi-Fi outage day every once in a while. I think those are
Oh
good
man,
reminders.
I
Like
know.
if I were a principal, I would just like quote unquote accidentally flip the switch once or twice a year just to remind everyone like
Yeah.
we're
Well,
okay. We can be
that's
human
what
beings,
North
but
Carolina,
also yeah.
Granville County Public
Mm,
Schools in North Carolina, they do, the superintendent, they do tech-free Tuesdays and Thursdays.
that's
So
very
there's
yeah.
no, so basically there is no internet in the
Mm-hmm.
classrooms because they're not using any technology.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really being more mindful in your approach. I do want, like, if you're again, I know that I was not a classroom teacher, but on the days where we had no internet at
Mm-hmm.
school when that happened, it was like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I can't, there is a large chunk
You
of
work
my
within a lot of
job that I
systems.
can't
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I know that a classroom teacher, that's very different
Mm-hmm.
because I would hope that if the internet goes out, you're still proceeding as
Mm-hmm.
usual.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not relying on, I get that, grading and taking
Yeah.
attendance and those things,
Yeah.
but
And I
we
think
still
it's also
did those on paper back
yeah.
back in the day.
And it's very
So,
disciplinary specific too. Like it may look
right.
differently in different content areas. I'm
AP
thinking about
computer
my
science,
husband who
right?
has been like he is often without the internet in his classroom because they can't figure out how to get the connection into his
Oh
like
no.
concrete dugout
His
basement
little
band
box.
room. But that's in a
Yeah.
band class. It's like it does not
Yeah.
affect his teaching because
Right.
one of the beautiful things that I love about music and being a band
Yeah.
kid myself and still being a band person as an adult is like this is a
Yes.
space where like sure there are ways that technology can enter and whatnot, but at the end of the
Right.
day making music is just being
Hands
bodies
on.
present together, which is
Yeah.
very cool. But yeah, that of course, yeah, in a what'd you say, AP something something
Yeah, like
class,
AP
like
computer science
yeah, it's
or,
hard to
your
yeah.
multimedia, like a digital design
Hmm.
class
And
where
depends
it's
on
like
what the assignment is and what
Adobe.
you're doing. And I know we
Yeah.
said we're kicking the can down the road a little bit longer of the Mad Tech article we
Oh,
wanted to discuss,
yes. Yes.
but
Yeah, that
again,
that
this
folds
idea
into this
of,
conversation too.
know,
Yeah.
that it just all depends on the use and purpose and
Right.
character. So now I feel like I'm reciting the copyright laws on the fair use doctrine, but I feel like there is like a weird corollary there of ed tech fair use, but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
No,
Just to be clear, I sort of know what I'm talking about. I
I
just got
believe you do.
I got dilly brain going on.
Oh,
Um,
silly brain.
but all this to say, once
Yeah.
again, right
Yeah.
on and nice job speaking up at the board meeting
Thank you.
earlier this week. I'm so glad you were able to make it
Yeah.
as an
I hadn't
in-person
planned on staying
presence.
2.5
Yeah.
hours, but
Yeah. Wow.
but
So when you say recess, does that mean like they took a break and got back
they
at
took
it
a
later that
break.
night, or they're
Yeah, they took a
continuing the
5-minute
conversation?
break.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I got up. Now they had other
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah.
items to cover. The technology, other than like the first, maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. There was a student that had an amazing bowling
Oh
accomplishment.
yeah, I
I
fast
forget the
forwarded
score,
through
but it
that
was
part.
like,
Sorry,
holy
kid, but I
cow.
bet it was amazing.
It was. It was really neat to listen to him and his coaches talking about him. But other than that, there was a little bit of talk of facilities, and then most of that 2.5 hour
Hmm.
chunk or just over was,
Yeah.
or not, it was about technology.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it was a lengthy discussion. There was a lot, talking about this tech task force that has been put in place through the district. And there were a couple other recommendations that, I recognize that not everything's going to happen all at once. It's not
Right.
going to all
Yeah.
change all at once, and change does take time. I appreciate that some of these things that they are planning on putting in place, they're going to do next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
One one thing, and again, there, it's on my giant Google Doc. There was a recommendation to use Common Sense Media's
Mm.
um, like basically digital literacy program,
Mm-hmm.
to which there are issues. There are major issues with Common Sense Media due to all the different funding partners
Mm-hmm.
that then create these, and it's free. It's a free program. So right off the bat, you should maybe be like, uh-oh, if it's
Mm-hmm.
free,
What
what's
are we
really being
paying? Yeah,
sold?
yeah,
Yeah, what are we
exactly.
actually paying? But Common Sense Media is a compromise. And it's hard to say that because so many people look to it because
Mm-hmm.
there are useful resources that are
Yeah.
provided. However, they are funded by big tech.
Mm-hmm.
They are multiple big tech partner, Google, Meta,
Gates
um,
Foundation, is that right?
Gates. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, like, I have a hard time putting a blanket moratorium on things or saying
right.
like because of this funding, because and it, you know, it's all
Well, because it's
contextual and it all
everywhere.
depends. And it's
And
everywhere,
that's the other
yeah.
thing.
So
There are
I,
so
you
many of
know,
these, governing bodies on technology and children. And if you really start to dig into it of who funds these things,
mm-hmm,
well, if big tech is involved, then in my mind,
mm-hmm,
then you have a compromised position because your mission is to increase your bottom line.
mm-hmm,
And so, how can you be aligned with what is right and best for children if your goals and interests are just to increase revenue? So,
mm-hmm,
and there's just some language that's like presumed use, and we're not a family that is like using devices, so my kid won't understand some of
mm-hmm,
the lessons. And I looked through some, their kindergarten, and it starts in kindergarten and first grade lessons. It's like, well, this doesn't apply. We don't, he doesn't use a tablet. So
mm-hmm.
anyways, there's just some messaging
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
it's
not
curious.
child development aligned. And there is one, again, it costs money because it was developed,
Mm-hmm,
in a thoughtful way. Screen Strong has a really great curriculum for, and again, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get paid to like say that, or I just know that they're an independent. They are not funded by any technology companies.
mm-hmm,
And it's truly based on brain science and child
mm-hmm,
development. So
mm-hmm,
I will recommend it again. I know I have well, I have very little control over what
mm-hmm,
curriculum is
mm-hmm,
selected, but there are some definitely known issues with Common Sense
mm-hmm,
Media. So
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate though that they are working towards
Yes. Yeah.
increasing
Yeah.
that awareness and literacy on
Mhm.
different things related to technology.
Right. But everything you just shared is also a piece of critical literacy of
Well, it
asking
is, right.
who is the
Of
author,
who's the
what
author,
are,
what's the
where
source,
is this
what's the
coming from? Where
purpose?
is the money? Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things, which is kind
Yeah.
of ironic to be
I
tracing
know.
that through a program that is purported. And that's where I'm like, I haven't looked into this curriculum or anything myself, so I can't make
Yeah.
many opinion statements or anything, but it's
I
like
mean, I'm sure
with
there are pieces
anything,
that are
I
good. There
exactly, yeah.
are
And
because
that's I think what I try to tell my students, my future teachers as well, is just like trust your own instincts, trust your
yeah.
own digital and media literacy to make those kinds of curricular decisions anywhere you can. Because yes, sometimes you will be handed a canned curriculum or a set of
Yeah.
things that you must do as an
Right.
educator, but find your ways to work within that or find where you need to push against things if it's not,
Yeah.
where pedagogically sound or sitting with,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot to it. So
There's a lot
I
to it.
just I truly like genuinely appreciate that they are willing to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
parent voices
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
And because that's not happening in
Mm-hmm.
all these, just like I'm watching school board meetings from other
Oh
districts,
my
not just
gosh.
in our state,
What a
but
life you live.
around the country. I know.
That sounds
Of
miserable. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
not full meetings. These are
Yeah, I
selected
know.
snippets,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in this group or multiple,
Yeah.
now groups that I'm in, there are people that are just being stonewalled, and it's like, no, we're not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
We're not listening to you. Like they don't even respond or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So I do seriously appreciate that this is a conversation that remains open and
Mm-hmm.
like people are willing to listen. And I understand that it's hard we've kind of talked about that sunk cost fallacy of like,
Mhm.
well, we put all this money into
Right.
this, we have to use it. And so I recognize that there's a financial
Yeah.
piece tied to this, and that is a hard thing to, justify changing sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because you have people to answer to, and you have,
Mm-hmm.
and teachers are used to using these things too. And so it's going to be it's an adjustment for everyone. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying really hard to work kind of on both sides of like,
Yeah.
parents, you need to make some changes. Here are suggestions of how to improve, your child's ability to focus and hold attention, like all of these things. You have things to work on at home. But also school, you're a partner in this
Mm-hmm.
too. And so you need to support what is best for learning and child development. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what school should be.
Mm-hmm.
While still allowing them to use different tools that, let
Mm-hmm.
them explore and learn and grow. So
Yeah. They've got
I'm
to work in
trying really
tandem
hard to
together.
do both
Of
both
course. I
pieces
know.
of like,
Yeah. And that's so commendable. Like that's
I'm
because it's
also
important.
so tired.
I bet you are. And
So
I mean
tired.
I know you are. And I hope on this Mother's Day that you take some time. I mean, with what time you have left today, but also that you
Right.
in all of this reflection that I think we're inherently
Yeah.
not inherently, but we're like doing through this episode. Even now
Yeah.
we're not directly talking about like here's what it means to be a mom, but clearly what I hear for you is that right now being a mom is all of this advocacy work alongside all the day-to-day
Yeah.
responsibilities of caregiving,
Yeah.
um which is
Just trying to do it
amazing.
all as best as I can.
Yeah, you're doing
And just
amazing.
hoping that I'm not, I've said this to Brian now a couple times, like, am I working so hard on this that I'm missing
Mm,
pieces of like, am I putting so much into this that I'm missing out on day to day
mm,
with my kid? Like, I'm
sure.
doing this
Yeah.
for my children, but also for a greater reason, a larger reason. Not greater as in like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
My
I
children are the
yes.
reason,
Right.
but I'm doing
Right.
it for the greater good,
For the great.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, and because I want them surrounded in a childhood that they're not the only ones that moms like, you can't use this,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going to tell them the reasons why, but I want them to have social relationships where someone else feels similarly or the
Mm-hmm.
same as I do. I don't know.
And I
It's
think
just
that the fact
it's a
that you're
lot.
asking that question means that you are tuned in. You care. You're not blocking out your own kids at the sake of this
I try
advocacy
so
work or
hard
whatever it
not
is.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're
because it's
not. But
not
I
like it's
understand
a
it's
it's a
complicated.
full-time job
Yeah.
almost at this point, but
Right.
it's not like full-time job hours where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going off and I'm working on
Okay,
this.
it's
I'm
5 o'clock.
sneaking
I'm
in a
gonna
few
yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
here. I'm
Yeah.
sneaking in a little,
Yeah.
what time that I can. So,
No, I think you're doing great.
anyways,
But I also hope that you are taking care of you through it all because we have
well,
to take care of ourselves in order to take care of others. And that is the truth.
yeah, I've
And
said that to other people, but I don't
I,
know that I always
then I'm
follow
gonna say
that.
it to you. I'm gonna say it
Yeah.
to you. And yeah, that's all I'll say.
Long pause. I don't know what.
Long pause.
Yeah, I
No,
will. I will try.
well,
Maybe I don't want to say that and not actually mean it. So
you will
I
though.
will.
You will. I'll
I
hold you
will pay it.
accountable. Find some
Thank you.
ways every day to take a little bit of time and or find a like, some opportunity this summer to take a week off. Give yourself vacation time because I think that's the problem is when
Yes.
we do this again, it's all kind of care work and
Yeah.
it is labor intensive, even if it's
Yeah.
not a 9 to 5. You're not clocking in and out of
No.
checking the forums or your group chats and all the pages
Right.
and
Or
all the
my
things and
weekly
writing,
Zoom
right?
meetings.
Going to your Zoom meetings, take a week. Like no one's gonna miss you. I mean, they will miss you. That's not the way I wanted to say it.
No,
They
I
will
know.
miss you,
The work will
but life will go
continue.
on. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yes. The work will
The work
continue,
will
whether I'm doing
continue.
it or
You will
not.
come back to it the next week, but like more than just
Yes.
like, okay, I'll take this afternoon. Like give yourself a full block of time to like
Yeah.
really
I could
step
attempt.
away because that's also doing it good by giving you the
Yeah.
space to have a new perspective and to come
Talk
back
about
to it
needing a brain break.
re-energized. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, this
Yes.
is my as Dr. Helen
Oh,
Plevka-Jones.
yes,
This is
please.
my literary prescription for you is to take a week off and
I would enjoy that.
eat a dilly
Yes.
bar every day of that week. A dilly a
Ooh.
day keeps the Dr. PJ from saying, Jordan, take better care of yourself.
Got it. Noted. Stitch that on a
Yeah,
pillow.
I already have one right here. I know that
Oh,
our listeners
wonderful.
can't
It's
see,
in our
but
merch store.
don't tell them lies. I would
It
never.
will be
Um,
in our merch store. Oh man.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
all the while through this deep and important conversation,
I
I'm
know.
also been like, how am I going to forge the transition back to the
Oh,
behemoth of big tech to the Canva thing this week? Or
holy cow.
yeah,
Yeah.
wait, now
Canvas.
thank you. Every time I'm
I
like,
know Brian did the
you're
same
gonna pick
thing.
the wrong one. You're gonna pick the wrong one. Canvas, the
Canvas.
LMS, learner management
Uh-huh.
systems that's used
Huge.
across
Second
higher
time.
ed.
Second
What?
time. This is the second
Yeah,
time it happened from the same
yeah,
ransom company or,
yeah.
group, not company.
And
Maybe company.
I haven't done all the research on this that I want to, and I've been thinking a lot about it and got lots I want to like write about this, honestly. But
Yeah. Were you all
it,
done? You were all done with?
I was done. I'd done everything but sent my final grades in. So like
Okay.
again, for listeners, I guess if
Oh
you're
yeah.
like,
If you don't know what this
I
is.
haven't been in college since like, or you're just not familiar. It's like the portal,
Yeah.
the place
Online.
online where I mean, I would
Everything.
say the majority of
Grades,
professors, yeah,
assignments.
hosts
Yeah.
all of their materials, assignments that when they're submitted online, they go through this, and
Yes.
then
High
they're
school
the
and
grades,
college.
high school and
Mostly
college,
college, but
yeah,
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 definitely high schools across or
yeah,
school districts across the country too.
yeah. And I will say that ISU, where I'm at, was one of like the last holdouts. They had
Oh.
their own internal ReggieNet, which ReggieNet sucked, but Canvas also sucks.
Right.
Like these,
Right.
like any LMS is going to have its flaws. But
Totally.
anyway, it was one of the last ones to adopt Canvas as its LMS. But all this to say that this week, in the midst of what for many institutions was either last week of classes or finals week, so like a
Yeah.
very
Stressful.
important time in this timeline of the semester.
Huge.
From my perspective, you open up the page and it says that Canvas is undergoing scheduled maintenance.
Oh, you didn't
And
get the ransom note
I
on your
didn't, yeah,
page?
no,
I know people
but I know people
tried to log in. It
screenshotted
was
it. Yeah,
like,
that got yeah.
we're taking over
And
until
perhaps
these demands are
that's what
met.
came up first, and then somehow they got in there to change it to
Yeah.
quote unquote scheduled maintenance,
Okay.
which like on its own, you're like, it's the Thursday of finals week. Like
It's not
no
scheduled.
one's scheduled. Yeah, yeah, something's up. But yeah, it turns out that these hackers had been holding Instructure, which is the company that owns Canvas,
Yes.
ransom to pay or
Yes.
leak all this data. At this point, I've heard it's like mostly just emails and like they don't have
Yeah,
social
internal
security.
messages.
Yeah, message. Yeah. So like
Right.
certainly
Student
there's.
names,
Mm-hmm,
emails, messages.
mm-hmm.
I read it's like 3 terabytes of data,
Yeah, yeah,
which is a lot of data.
which is a lot of data. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and so I think it came back live Friday, I want to say.
I think so.
They were like early Friday. For me,
Yeah.
again, my perspective, I
Oh, yeah.
gave my
Yeah.
final on Wednesday morning. I graded everything Wednesday afternoon, which I was very, very proud of. Got all
Yeah.
my grades entered in Canvas. And then the last step is to go into the like official grade book through ISU's
I was gonna say
site.
the
And you can just
university.
hit an import button that imports all the grades from Canvas. And then review
Yes.
and finalize. So that's what is submitted and goes on their record, their transcript. I was like, what's the college
Yeah.
word for report card? Their
Transcript.
transcripts. um but I like to give a little kind of buffer for where my students can see their grade on Canvas before I finalize it. So I
Okay.
usually give like a day or two to get what inevitably is a couple of emails like, "Hey, I saw that I got a certain grade. Is there anything I can do to? I know I missed a couple assignments. Is there any?" It's like, well, what you could have done was those assignments, the grade
Right.
stands,
Right.
all the that fun little banter. But also, like,
Yes.
I am upfront with my students too that like I make mistakes sometimes. So if you catch
Oh,
something that you're
yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
you wrote this score on my page, but I'm seeing here that you entered this number, like, yes, I in fact
Yeah.
can enter the wrong buttons or do the wrong math. So, I
You are
just I
human.
leave that window open just in case. And so I had not yet submitted my grades. But
Okay.
technically the deadline wasn't or won't still be until this upcoming week, but I wanted to get everything
Gotcha.
said and
Yes.
done
You
for
just want to be done.
myself. Yeah, for by the end
Yeah.
of this week. But they have now at ISU like sort of scooted the deadline ahead a little bit, but
Okay.
also this could affect students graduating and
Right.
things like that. So they're
Yeah.
like, please try to still get them in on time.
Yeah. No,
But
the implications
yeah,
of this system
right,
outage
right.
are they have real consequences. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty confident that the timing of this
Oh,
was clearly
100% intentional on their
very
part to make the,
intentional
yes.
to
Yeah.
show, hey, this
Uh-huh.
is like you better do something about this.
And
So
really what it makes me think about as an instructor, as an instructor, dang, that's a
the
catchy little name for a company they've got there, huh? Uh, it's, I'm not so
instructor.
sure about instructor, but it certainly brought to light, my own reliance on this
Right.
system,
Right.
and how, we do all of this meticulous, careful course planning directly through these platforms that,
Mm-hmm.
as evidenced by what happened, like could just be
Get
gone.
hacked and disappear. You know what
Uh-huh.
doesn't get hacked and leaked? Your notebooks,
I know. I'm like, I
your
guess my Google Drive could too.
textbooks.
I guess my, like anything is at
Right.
risk. Like,
Yeah. Anything
things can happen to
anything
material
digital.
goods too, right? Certainly
Yes.
disasters can happen or things
And
can
I
get
get that you
lost.
could
And
spill your
yeah,
coffee cup on
right,
your paper
right.
grade book. I there can be, but
Hmm.
again, that
But
can't be
that's all,
leaked on the internet
and
with
that's one
student
person.
personal
That's
data.
not an entire
Exactly. Yeah.
university, let alone an
Thousands of
entire
students.
nation and world worth of
Yeah.
institutions who have become dependent on these platforms.
Yes.
And that,
It kind of just reminds you of how vulnerable we kind of
yes,
all of us
yes.
are if
Hmm.
a system, a largely used
Hmm.
system goes down,
Hmm.
then what?
Hmm. Hey,
Not,
and
and
this
not just
is,
goes down, but like gets hacked.
you were giving me a hard time for not texting you things, but I texted you this. I was like, ooh, big news in ed
Yes.
tech, Jordan. Have you
Yes.
heard? Have you heard? And
Huge.
so take back what you said earlier about I don't
Oh,
text you
I take it
things
back.
because I did. I did.
I just
I
meant
don't
that
know if I
one
replied to your
thing.
text. Um
Yeah,
anyway,
no, that was
yeah, it
definitely
was
major
big.
news.
And I guess I hope that these conversations do continue because on my own Facebook feed, I saw a good number of professors that were like,
Mm,
before they all like many people realized that there were hackers, that this wasn't just unique to their institutions. Cause I saw some people from IU posting, I saw some folks from ISU, I saw people,
okay.
who were just like, hey, is anyone else experiencing this? I'm trying to enter my final grades, or I have a final to give tomorrow,
Yeah,
all those things. And then slowly realizing, like, oh, everyone is
this is
dealing with
everybody.
this right now. Yeah, I hope that this continues some conversations about this vulnerability
Yeah,
and how we can be more
I'm sure it will.
mindful and critical and intentional of how we interact with these systems, because I'm not under
Yeah.
any delusion that they're going away tomorrow, like, and it's not like
No.
there's a school board for the school that I can go testify to, but if I, as an individual, make some more critical choices or intentional choices about how I use this technology and what I'm modeling for my future teachers,
Right.
I think that's
Right.
one step in the right direction too. So anyway,
So anyway,
technology, man,
it's
big tech,
wild.
ed tech.
Same thing,
It's a
just in a
sweater.
sweater
It's in
vest.
a sweater vest, and yeah, Thanks,
I got to I
hackers, is the end
yeah.
of this story.
Thanks a lot, jerks.
No, thanks,
I
hackers, for
know.
showing everyone what a farce.
Yeah,
He's
for
all,
shedding light on how vulnerable we all are and
oh,
why we shouldn't rely on some of these things.
apologies if you can hear my dog barking right now. There
Oh,
is
I
the most
didn't know.
precious Scotty dog that
Oh,
walks around our neighborhood. And June just, I know they have a language, and June just does not like what she's saying.
get
And
off my lawn.
uh-huh.
Don't even look at this house,
It's
kid.
so funny though how there's certain dogs that like June doesn't even know. Like, we walk by, they're barking at her and she gives them nothing. And then there's
Yeah,
certain dogs in our neighborhood that it's like, oh, they've got
not that kid.
something. Uh-huh.
Not that
It's
kid.
wild. But
Oh my gosh.
I,
Well,
I think she just hears us talking about how cute that dog is, being like, oh my gosh, she's so precious. So
oh,
June's
we should
just
be careful.
jealous. Yeah,
Yeah, we should
yeah.
be careful. Sorry, June.
It's
We
okay.
love you.
Yeah, we do.
Did we
Anyway,
have anything else that
I
I need
wanted
to
to
pull it up?
ask you, yes, we did have something else. Your CNHI article. You were
Oh, oh my
interviewed in a
gosh.
piece. I know this is like old
Yes.
news now, like 2 weeks ago or
I
something,
forgot about it.
but tell us about
Um,
it. We'll get it
yes,
in those show notes and then we can wrap it up.
yes. Well, I think it'll have to be on the free archive. Like every link that I've clicked, and I think I shared one that wasn't like, hey, you have to be a
Mm.
subscriber and like pay for the I'm not clear. CNHI, I didn't know what that was
Yeah,
before,
what is
but
it?
it's like they have their reporters. I talked to his name's Carson. I talked to him and he covers like Illinois and Indiana news. When I Google my name, oh my gosh. Like
Google you.
if you Google my name, because I was trying to find this article, he didn't tell me when it was coming out. He said basically if you just Google your name and my name, like you'll see it
Mm,
because it's going to be in all these different publications, like
gotcha. So
across the country. So
amazing.
it wasn't just Illinois and
The
Indiana. It's like
Oskaloosa Herald,
there's like all these
the
places that
Norman
picked it up.
transcript.
Yeah,
Wow. Miss
which
Jordan,
is
the Joplin Globe.
all these things.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And you're, oh my God. I don't know
Oh no.
why, I don't know how, but on the images that come up,
Yes.
the image number 4 is of Jordan Spiegelmeier on LinkedIn, but the image is of Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh no. No. That
I
is the worst
love that.
outcome.
That's so funny. Sorry, but it's very
Oh,
funny.
that's funny. Um, yeah, it was a great interview. I think we might have talked for probably an hour or close to an hour.
Yes.
Um, it's part of a series of stories that they're doing with parents and screens and childhood and I did not know kind of what else would be featured in the article. I also didn't know that I'd be the beginning, middle, and end of the
Yeah.
article, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like this was an instance where I didn't feel, misquoted or like
Mm-hmm.
took a part of quote and out of context,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that other
But
example
how
of
much do you love giving your kids iPads?
0% because they don't have them. Yeah, so I thought it was a well done, it's not super long
Yeah.
article, but glad to have it out there and kind of share another perspective on why I'm doing this and
Mhm.
um yeah, I was pleased with the outcome and did not realize how far it would be
Yeah.
like widely, shared. I don't know if that was just online or if this was in print.
Mm.
Like are those in the
Yeah.
newspapers of these I have no
Hmm.
idea. So
Hmm.
I didn't look that far into it, but it's out there. It's in the world.
Yay.
So I won't go into too much detail because this hasn't happened yet, but I have an opportunity to do some like media training, if you will,
Ooh.
which I never in a
Wow.
million years would have thought
Well,
like
look
this
at
is
you.
something that I'm doing, but
You're a millennial
it's
mom and you
it's
have
coming.
thoughts. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Cool.
which will be, I mean, I don't know what all it entails, but I'm
Hmm.
sure it will help me with getting very specific thoughts across and
Oh
saying it
man,
in
so
a
is this replacing me? This
no,
training?
no. Hey, nothing replaces you, Helen. Nothing. And
Nothing compares.
to you, nothing. Oh man. No, nothing will ever replace you, Helen. Nothing.
I'm referring to my Google Doc.
I know.
I feel like the last one I butchered though. Thank you for
No, it
interpreting
was super
all of that.
helpful. I like that I can
But
send you things and
it's
you
kind of like my hobby, I guess.
well, you're clearly very good at it, and I appreciate that sometimes I have all these thoughts that I want to communicate, and you're like, okay, this part should go with this paragraph, and this scratch that, and you've kind of already said that, and now you're trying to end and make 2 points with 1 point, and you have two different thoughts, and yeah.
I
So
love
that
it.
was
This
super
is what I
helpful
do
for
for a living,
yeah.
and I live for
Guys,
it.
she's real good. Real good.
Pay me.
Actually,
Is this how
yes.
coaches and consultants do it? Because like this
I
has
don't
been a
know.
legitimate thought. It's like, how can I just make this what I do?
Oh, yeah. You want a human to review your
Uh-huh.
work and not some AI robot that's just gonna mess it up?
Hi, I'm
Call
Helen. I'm
Dr.
definitely a
Helen
human.
Plevka-Jones.
I will definitely eat a Dilly Bar on our Zoom, and you're welcome to.
Yeah. Eat a dilly bar with me while we review your writing. I'd sign up for that any day of the week.
Okay.
On
You
that
get you
note,
get the friends and podcast co-host discount though. Oh, last
thank
thing
you.
I'll say is that in the piece that I had published today, you will be
Yes.
pleased to see that on my author bio, my very first sentence I
Oh,
wrote was Helen Plevka-Jones is the co-host of the Millennial Mom Thoughts podcast. So maybe
stop.
we'll get some new listeners. But yeah,
We
I'm optimistic
might.
about that. I was like, oh, in a like mother type publication, like I'm gonna put that
Yes.
right up front.
Brilliant.
So hello, new list. I know you all. Just the
You
internet has
came.
found me.
Yes.
Mark
Yes.
Zuckerberg has
Well,
found
you know what?
you.
They'll come. Well, no, it could be this episode because we're obviously recording today. They could find it on Wednesday,
Good.
our most recent or latest episode. Welcome, runners. We're glad to have you here.
No, I don't think it's going to get very wide reach, but you know what? It's
You
out
never
there.
know.
You
You
never
never know.
stinking know with this world. So on
That's
that
right.
note,
On that note, we're glad to be moms. We're glad to be millennial moms. We
we love going
love
outside.
we love going outside. We love touching all of the grass because it's growing in so great. You know what? Could the grass slow down just a little bit? Because I can't keep up with the mowing.
Especially on the edges of like, why do we haven't done any like weed whacker
Chill out,
edging,
grass.
and it's definitely shows.
So, regardless of what your yard looks like, just get out there. Leave your phone inside. I'm sure it needs to charge. And you know what? You don't need to have it with you all the time. Try it out. Go outside. Get fresh air. Touch that grass.
And enjoy this podcast music by Ryan Spickelmeyer. I'm sorry, it's the Dilly Bar. Jordan Spickelmeyer does social media. I'm Helen Plevka-Jones, and I edit the audio and embarrass myself on the internet. We will catch you on the flippity flip.